Hi guys, Bigbang Biker here. So after a long time, I'm wanting to do a review of a bike, and this has been a long wait. I know that you guys have been asking me about AS200 since a long time. I was a little busy, so I apologize for that. So now today I'll do a very good and comprehensive review of this bike. If you have watched my which 200cc bike to buy review, in that I have told either buy AS200 or RTR 200 according to me. Of RTR 200, I have done a review and it has got more than 85,000 views, and it's really accepted by everyone that yeah, whatever I've said is truly being felt. So in a similar fashion, let me do a review of this. So let's get started. The first thing is the rider seat is very comfortable, and the handlebars are a little low. They are not upright as such, and it's comfortable. The foot pegs are a little rare set, so that makes it similar to that of RTR 200. This is what I felt with that bike as well. So in that sense, there is not much weight going on your wrist or shoulders, and you are quite comfortable with this bike. The bad part about this bike, I guess there are only few of them. Let me say them first. The fairing vibrates, and Bajaj still has not rectified this, despite being told so many times by my friend. They have kept it the way it is, and they are saying you have to get adjusted to that fact. So that's one negative part. And the complaint that I get from the AS200 owners is it's called Adventure Sport, but there are not many accessories available. And since I've been riding with this bike for past 6-7 months, I've observed it very closely, and I have been a pillion also in this bike. The pillion comfort is not that great because the rear suspension is really hard on this bike, while the front suspension is pretty nice and smooth and soft as well. So in that sense, for a rider, there is no issue at all with this bike. And I've seen this bike do 150 kilometers per hour. Yeah, it does 140 very easily, but climbing to 150, it takes some time on this, but that's okay. The windshield on this is the best thing that Bajaj has given. I'll tell you that this is the best thing. It's sturdy as anything, and it doesn't vibrate much, so it gives you enough wind protection. For example, when you want to go really fast, you can tuck in very easily under this, and you get sufficient wind protection, and you won't feel fatigued that easily. If you take the case of a corner in this bike, that's one part where you will struggle, because this is not meant for cornering. This is meant for highways, a little of off-road and stuff like that. So in those places, AS200 really rocks, man. I really love this bike. If I wanted to buy a 200cc, I would be stuck between going for a AS200 or a RTR 200 still. If I wanted to do more of highway rides and stuff like that, and if I'm a beginner rider, then this is the bike I would go for, because on the highways you need enough wind protection and more power, enough cruising ability and stuff like that. And this bike does 120 with no glitch. You can enjoy your time at 120 with this bike. Yeah, and as you see, the throttle response is really crisp. And again, since this is Bajaj, and like any other Bajaj, you take it over 6000 rpm and it really goes, The low end torque is where sufficient work has to be done. Yeah, as you see here, post 6000 rpm, the bike simply jets, you know. And I am in third gear right now. And I didn't have to shift if I wanted to go at a little higher speed. So that's what this bike gives you. The front brake is really, really good, you know. It's really sharp and it's nice. Yeah, when I check the rear brakes, it's a little soft, but that's okay. That's how the setting is supposed to be. The front brake should be sharp and the rear brake should be soft. See, this is what I mean. It's a perfect bike. If it was refined, it would have been even better, you know. It's so comfortable, man. I can ride this bike all day. It's like a Mojo with less power, you know. And it looks beautiful too. I like this bike in red. And no, this is not a test ride bike. This is my friend's bike. He has given me this bike for a review. And he is very happy with this bike, you know. He was not expecting this bike to do a very high speed and stuff like that. He says that has come as a surprise. And if you think you cannot steer this in city, then you are dead wrong, man. It doesn't feel heavy or anything. The gearbox is a little hard on this bike, but the clutch is really smooth, you know. I'm making these observations based on the things that I experience on a Mojo, and I'll tell you, if I had to buy a 200cc ride tomorrow, yeah, for cities I might buy RTR 200, and for highways I would separately buy AS200. You know, if I was that rich, trust me, I would have had both of these bikes, and I would have cherished them a lot. And a couple of my friends who own AS200, even they say that, you know, if a 300cc or a 400cc version of this bike is released with more refinement, yeah, they would certainly think of upgrading from their current AS200 to that. Because this itself is a perfect bike, dude. You don't have anything to complain about it. The only sad part would be the service that the Bajaj provides you. If you have a mechanic who's outside who can take care of these stuff for you, right? Then you pretty much don't have to worry, man. As I told, the front brakes is really sharp, as you can see here. It's really, really sharp. See here, we are on a slope. We are on an upward slope and the bike still pulls. So this is what I'm telling you. When you buy a AS200, right, you learn almost everything that is there in a bike to learn, right? If you are a kind of a guy who tries to ride every weekend and goes to new destinations every time, then trust me, please go for this. Please go for this. It's a request from me. Yeah, the tires and everything are not that great because you might get Euro grip. So if you can upgrade the tires to Seats, then trust me, you will have a much more fun time, you know. So yeah, and one more thing is this gets projector headlights. Trust me, that is really, really helpful at night. There were times where me and my friend were going on a night drive or a early morning ride. And early morning ride, and trust me, I was going behind him because the coverage that these lamps were giving me, right, the projector lamps on this bike were giving, was sufficient, and I could turn off my Mojo's headlight and I could just ride behind this person. You know, it is that good. So the number of plus points on this bike is too many when compared to number of negatives. The negatives which I mentioned in the start of this review, like it does not have enough equipment and all these things. So you can experiment with the components that you get from Royal Enfield and fit on this. They perfectly fit this bike because I've seen my friends doing it and they're pretty happy with that. So yeah, if you're thinking, like highway rides, and if you're thinking, okay, I want to have a comfortable ride and I'll occasionally use this in city, then this is the bike for you, dude. Trust me, this is the bike for you. And since I'm not just reviewing this bike and giving you the observations which I've seen over 6 to 7 months, you can trust this review more than anything else. See, as I said, it launches like a very good bike. So that is it, guys. This is my review of AS200. I have probably given you enough of information for you to decide on whether you have to go for this bike or not. I would suggest you go for it. And yeah, that is it. I hope the wait for review of AS200 was worth it for you guys, because the amount of information which went into this is extensive. So thanks a lot for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this review. More reviews will be coming your way, and I'll make sure I'll keep you entertained with my reviews as well. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a great weekend. Bye bye.